Great to see everyone this morning. Let's start off with a congregational song. Huh?
Never mind.
Yes. Oh,
This is, never mind. Pause. Our first congregational song is page 33 in the pink book, and this song was chosen by our fellowship minister. Her favorite song, or one of her favorite songs. This Little Light of Mine. I invite you to stand, arise in spirit as you are willing and able.
Well, that's a great way to start off today. Welcome. Welcome to the First Existentialist Congregation of Atlanta. We are a spiritual community philosophically based on existentialist and feminist principles. We're dedicated to human liberation and protection of the natural world. We make our spiritual home here in the old stone church, hand-built by the African-American Antioch East Baptist Church over 100 years ago. And what a beautiful, spectacular building that we have to worship in. We acknowledge that racial hostility drove those African Americans from the area, and we honor them in the powerful history of this place. We also acknowledge that in the 1800s, the Muscogee Creek people were driven from this land, and we support justice for all indigenous people. It's great to have everyone here this morning. Glad to see you all. Dean Orange said, the need for connection and community is primal. This is primal and fundamental as the need for air, water, and food. If we have any community announcements, if you would bring those up to me and I'll read them a little later. Do we have any newcomers that would like to stand and tell us how you came to be here? Yes, Susan, I don't think you're a newcomer.
I guess I can't claim that, but I can claim bringing a newcomer with me today. This is Johanna Horn. She's visiting from Berlin, Germany. And I was blessed to host her mother in 1996-97 as an exchange student here. Wow. And she's still a dear friend, and her 3 children are dear to me too, and the first one has come to visit me. So
Welcome, it's great to have you here this morning. Anyone else that hadn't been here in a while or a newcomer? Okay. All right. How about birthdays and anniversaries? Who do you have that has a birthday?
Yay, Leon.
I'm Leon, this is Lou, my wife of 67 years as of today.
Let us give you a proper happy anniversary.
Very good, very good.
La 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 la. Happy anniversary to you. Happy anniversary to you. Happy anniversary, Leon and Lou. Happy anniversary to you.
Marsha,
Yes.
I'd like to celebrate my birthday.
Well, please, come forward.
Along with Nancy, but you want to come up here?
Jackie and I have been doing this together for 49 years.
We could just walk down this aisle.
Happy birthday to Betsy.
La 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 la. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday
I don't know if y'all heard too, when Nancy came up, she said that she and Betsy have been celebrating their birthdays together for 49 years. Bill Laney is not with us this morning because he has COVID.
Aww.
So I'm going to start off. And I don't, let's see. Okay. I first started coming here in, well, I don't even remember the first year that I came because I went to Pauline and Lanier's home when they were still having the service at the home. But I had gotten a traffic ticket on the way there and I was in a terrible mood. And so I just sulked the whole time about getting a ticket. And so I didn't pay attention and I didn't start coming right away. But in 1980, I had a friend who said, you and Chancey really need to start coming to this congregation. Well, of course, it was a church back then. We called it the First Existentialist Church of Atlanta. And so, E-Church. So, I started coming back in 1980. And it was one of those things where I had grown up in a Southern Baptist household, and my family was very active in the church. And I really, even though I had gotten to the point where I didn't believe the doctrine of the church, I missed the stimulation, I missed learning, I missed the community. It was a void in my life. And so I started coming here. And the first day that I walked into the building, and I saw that there were men and women holding hands, women holding hands with women, men holding hands with men, as well as straight couples. And I thought, that first impression was one that I thought, now this is a place that could be my home. This is a place that's accepting, and it could be my home. So, and then I heard Lanier, and that blew my mind. How many of you have were around and heard Lanier speak? Yeah. Lanier had a way of taking the everyday occurrences and talking about them and making them so meaningful. He had a way of phrasing things that I would be going through my week, and there was something that he had said that didn't quite gel with me in the moment, but something would happen and I would remember what he said and it would be, oh, that's what he meant. That's what he was talking about. It was just such a down-to-earth, but fantastic way that she had of talking about real life and how important the little things are in life. He was my mentor. I studied for 3 years with Lanier to become an applicant, to put in an application with the congregation to be ordained, which gratefully y'all did. But Lanier taught me so much during those 3 years and beyond that, because he truly was a mentor. He taught me about how to listen, for one thing, how important it was to listen to what somebody was saying and not to try to anticipate what somebody was going to say, but to actually just sit and listen, to be with them, and to not try to jump in and and talk myself, but rather to just let that person talk until it was my turn. And then that we could have a real conversation between two equals. He taught me such a sense of self-worth. I went through a really difficult period of depression, and Lanier was right there to support me every step of the way, and taught me how important it was to be aware of my own attributes, of the things that I could bring to the world, the things that I brought to the congregation, and to appreciate those things and to utilize those things in a way that became just a part of me, and it helped me in terms of the community that I was a part of. And community. This congregation has become the most important community in my life outside of my own relationship with Chancey. The people in this congregation that I love, that have been able to, I've been able to have conversations with about all kinds of issues, and to listen to the speakers on Sunday morning and be stimulated by, what they have to say, to think about what is going on in their minds and what it is that they're trying to present to us. So I am very incredibly grateful to be a part of this community. I'm beyond grateful for the fact that I had the opportunity to know Lanier, to be in his class, to learn from him, to have him as my guide as I went along the way. Things that will be with me for the entire rest of my life, that have made me a better person, and have expanded my thought process, and expanded my own appreciation of myself and what I can give to the community, and to be open to what the community can give to me. I wouldn't give anything in the world for the experience that I've had being a part of this congregation. It has, for 49 years, it has been a mainstay in my life. I look forward to coming on Sunday mornings and seeing people. For one thing, it's wonderful to come in and get a hug. How many times during the week, think about it, how many times during the week do you actually get a hug? And a hug is a good thing. A hug is a good thing to get. And to embrace someone else, and to feel that comfort and that love coming from somebody else. But I can come here on Sunday morning, every Sunday morning, that I'm able to be here and know that I'm going to get hugs, and that I'm going to feel better. So I appreciate every one of you sitting out there for what you bring to the congregation and for what we have built. I know that Lanier would be very proud of us because I heard so many people say when Lanier retired that we would not survive. But he had taught us. He taught us how to survive.
Yeah.
He taught us how that we were a community, and that what it took to keep us together and to keep us going and thriving. So I'm incredibly grateful for Lanier. I love his scarves. He was so creative. And that was another thing that he shared, was that being creative is within yourself, that you don't have to aspire to be a Picasso or a Rembrandt or someone, but rather to just let yourself feel and put that out there. And that's what he did, and that's one of the things that he helped me realize. So, very grateful for the past, incredibly grateful for the present, and I definitely look forward to the future that we've got as a group, as a community, as a loving and caring community. Thank you. Yes, and now we're going to do Bill's song.
Bill Laney's favorite song is The Poet's Eye. So we're going to do it per his special request. In the Pink Books, number 10, invite you to rise in body and or spirit as you're willing and able.
I wish that you could all be up here and hear the combined voices coming at me with that song. It really stirs something in me to hear you. And I want to echo the last words of that song. Let peace grow in the land. We now desperately need peace in this land and throughout the world. I'm going to read some community announcements. This is great. Lisa Cottrell is offering a free weekly mindfulness group for stress reduction. Boy, do we need that. It's online Wednesdays at noon. Contact Lisa, and I've got her email here. It's
LisaWellbeing@gmail.com.
Okay.
I'll send you the link.
to get the Zoom link. Lisa, raise your hand. I know everybody knows you, but This is Lisa, so after the service, if you're interested, be sure and contact Lisa. Also, Lisa, we'll put this in the e-blast.
I think it's been in there.
Has it been? Okay.
Yeah.
Great. Next Sunday, September the 21st, is World Peace Day.
Yeah.
Again, we need that. And it's also the eat and greet after the COL, so please be sure and stay after the COL for the eat and greet. Also today after the service is our second Sunday discussion group. So if you have time, please stay and join us. This is intriguing. Patton will have several packets of postcards at First E on Sunday, September the 14th. That happens to be today. They each have the addresses where they are to be sent and an instruction sheet. Please read the instruction sheet carefully before you begin. It should answer all your questions. Patton will gather them before the mailing date and put on the stamps. So, Patton, are they on the table back there, or do you...
No, that people need to come see me. This is what my mom's been talking about, the postcards for a voter, to encourage voters.
Okay. Yeah. All right, so see Patton after the service. Get a packet. Any other community announcements? Yes, Jeannie.
This coming Saturday is the fourth and last of our existentialism series that we've been doing once a month. Okay, so this coming Saturday at 2 o'clock here, I'm going to be talking on existentialism and how it lives. So come, 2 o'clock, 2 to 4, or something like that, all right? This coming Saturday, great.
We've had a wonderful series. We've had 3 so far, and each one of them have been stimulating because they each talk about different topics. And so I hope that you will put that on your calendar and come and hear Judy. I'm sure that we're going to get some interesting and helpful information on Saturday. So please, 2 o'clock. Each Sunday we set aside a time in our service for an opportunity to just sit quietly with our brothers and sisters, to pray, to meditate, to just have your feet on the ground and feel a connection with the earth. We have candles on each side of the sanctuary, so we'll spend about 4 or 5 minutes doing that, and then I'll bring the chimes to bring us all back together. Give us his thoughts.
Thank you, Marsha, and good morning, all.
Good morning.
In preparing for this morning, I did a little rummaging around in the basement and ran across this, which is the original membership book that people used to sign back in the day. Before we moved into this building. And it has beautiful calligraphy in it that was done by Aretha Williams, who was a member at that time. And it has a variety of information in it about who was on the first board and the second board and the third board. And it has lists of members for 1976. 77, 78, 79, and 80. And it's an early indication of how we started out. We no longer use this book but it's one of our historical documents that is good to have around. And I'm going to leave it up here after the service so y'all can look through it. And we'll be using this book and a variety of other documents during this next year because officially, you know, we're celebrating our 49th anniversary, and we are beginning our 50th year. And a year from today, hopefully we'll all be here celebrating number 50. As you probably all are well aware, First E was founded in 1976 as an independent, non-profit church in Georgia. And in 1978, First E became affiliated with UUA and moved its meeting location from Lanier and Pauline's home over on Adams Street into the YMCA. That was in 1978. And then in 1980, thanks to our relationship with UUA, we were able to acquire this building. $76,000, as I recall, for this building and property. And that was through the efforts of Lanier and other people who worked closely with UUA, developing a solid relationship. I want to point out and acknowledge there are 4 people that I'm aware of who are here this morning who were there at the very beginning. And that's Lanier Clance. Let's zoom off. Betsy Henderson. And our own Heinrich. She's listed in the book here as the music director in 1976. So, if I missed anybody else, please let me know. I don't see anybody else. There are other people, but I don't see them here this morning. So after our first year, we had 38 members. And we call them founders, but there were originally, I think, 6 or 8 people who I would call the founders. That's the people that I just mentioned, plus some people up in Ohio who were friends of Lanier and Pauline, you know, Al and Betty Jo Armstead and some other folks who signed the original charter, you know, as being involved when we got our nonprofit status. And I came along in 1979. I was member number 60. And we ended up at the end of 1980 having 108 names in that book. So that's a 4-year period. And it was good growth. The reason I got involved here at all was due to Pauline. You know, Pauline was my therapist at the time. I'd been in therapy with her after the death of my mother in 1977, and a divorce from my first wife, who I thought was my long time, forever wife. So I was shaken after those 2 experiences, and was looking for some meaning and purpose in life. And in the course of her therapy with Pauline, she suggested, maybe you might want to check out this group, this meeting over here at the Y. And I went to the Y and found a group of maybe 10 or 15 people sitting in a room with over 100 chairs. So I thought, something's going on here. There's a sense of, must be an optimistic. I don't know what that's about. But, it got my attention. What really got my attention when I walked in there was people would look me in the eye. They would talk to me. If I wanted to be talked with. Or they would leave me alone if I did not want to make contact. It was very casual and very here and now, in the moment. When I came over here to First E, after we got this building in 1980, it was just incredible, as Marsha was talking about. In 1980, you didn't walk into a place and see people holding hands who were of the same gender. It did not happen. It was a taboo against any kind of intergender relationships in the public world. So it was really quite an eye-opener to walk in here and see people being people, just regardless of their gender. It felt comfortable to me, as Marsha mentioned. I felt like I could come in here and I could connect with somebody if I reached out. I could get a hug. Or I could come in and sit and not say a thing to anybody. And just go home later. The thing that I noticed was that no matter what I did that particular day, I went home feeling better. So that got my attention. Everybody was pretty much welcomed here, as long as you were a non-violent person. Violence was not tolerated. And if you were overly aggressive, you would be talked with gently. But as long as you were kind and sort of open-minded, it was great. There was no dogma. I did not have to believe anything when I came in on Sunday. We had people who were atheists, who still do, who are members. And people who are Buddhists or Catholics or Protestants. That was one of the appeals to me of the early days. And the present days it's not that there is one way. There are many ways. And all we have to do is find our way. And Lanier was not into telling you what your way was. You had to basically figure out your own way, just as we all do. We grow up in our family situations, and we think our family is normal. We get up in years and experience and discover, hey, our family is just a family. And what's normal for that family is not normal for this family or that family. But gee, what is normal for me anymore? What do I believe? That's what I was looking for when I came here. And what I learned, I could talk for a long time about what I learned from Lanier, but I'm going to just hit a few bullet points. I learned it's okay to be authentic, to be myself. I don't have to wear a facade in the world. I can just be who I am if I'm willing to risk being who I am and taking the consequences of being who I am, because that's the only side we are free, but there are consequences to our choices. But being authentic was valued here. Still is. I learned that compassion and gentleness, being kind to myself, to others, being less critical, less judgmental of self and others, was a very positive way for me to be in the world. It took a lot of stress off, a lot of anxiety off. And when anxiety started raising its head, Lanier was right there to remind me, remember to breathe. Remember to breathe. Take a few deep breaths. It'll work out. It'll all be okay. Lanier taught me to recognize and value the value of individual perspectives. That a lot of life, a lot of reality is subjective in nature. He liked to use the example of, is it hot in here? Is it cold in here? Well, you ask all these people, you get a lot of different answers. And perspective matters. If we're trying to deal with reality as a group, then it's probably not really a group reality, unless it's made up of individual subjective realities. Lanier taught me that I have the freedom to choose. I can choose my attitude toward life. I can choose how I respond to what life throws in my path. Some of these are choices that I've made, and maybe wish I hadn't. But oftentimes it's just the way life is. We get sick, people die, friends, everything happens that we're not really wanting to happen. So how do we deal with this? Victor Frankl's book about man's search for meaning addresses this very directly. So, Lanier talked about not just thinking but doing. Don't just talk the talk, but walk the walk. And he was going to do that. I saw that when he was arrested during the Roadbusters events. The neighborhood was trying to stop Jimmy Carter Parkway from being put in. And he was out there with a bunch of other Christian people and other neighbors, protesting, and ultimately, as I recall, getting arrested. So it's fine to reflect and think about things, but the message I got from Lanier and from existentialism itself is that we are what we do. We are how we behave. What we believe is what we really believe is what we're doing and saying. Well, not what we're saying. What we're really doing is dealing with existentialism on a personal level, trying to figure out how our reality fits into everybody else's reality. Very complicated process and very engaging. Coming to a church where you expect to get intellectual stimulation, and you get it, but you also get music, and you get dance, and you get art, and you get theater, and you get all kinds of outside the lines, and Susan B. Anthony, and a whole bunch of things. It's all from creative people, getting together and doing their thing. So, be here now. The importance of the present moment. That's really a key teaching that I have gotten, and I'm still getting from First Year. I come in here some Sundays and I just sort of go through the motions, if you know what I mean, about how you and then occasionally I'll connect with somebody in a conversation, which is very right there, here and now, meaningful, eye to eye, and it's like, oh wow, this is a real person talking to a real person in this present moment. And when I think about it, what is my life or any of our lives other than a series of present moments, moment to moment to moment to moment? Are we awake or are we not? Here, I learn more and more to be more and more awake, and more open, more and more transparent, if you will, so that I can be known by other people, and in the process, come to know myself better. I remember in graduate school, in psychology, I was in a group, and we were doing an exercise, and it had to do with okay, write your own epitaph. What do you want to see on your tombstone? And we went around in a group, and everybody said what they thought. And it got to me, and I did not respond. Did not respond for a long time until the leader of the group asked if I would like to skip the question, since I seemed to be having so much trouble with it. And I said, no, let me work on it. What I came up with was, it would be nice to have on my epitaph that allow people to know him more than in the beginning. And somehow along the way I had allowed myself to be known by other people more, as opposed to just being my typical, at that time, the right wallflower. Never said anything. So I've changed a lot over the 46 years that I've been here. I've expanded my viewpoints about many things. And it's all becoming more and more important to me as time goes by. Because the other thing that I learned from Lanier, which and other places, but particularly from Lanier, is that here and now is not guaranteed tomorrow. We are all impermanent beings. And he would sometimes say on Sunday mornings, just think about that. Look around. And look at who's sitting next to you, behind you, in front of you. Just think about here, this particular gathering will never happen again with these particular people. And next Sunday, somebody may not be with us any longer. Because we all are impermanent, subject to going away without prior notice. Robert Stewart being the one that really got my attention in that regard. Just walking through the neighborhood and dropping dead of a heart attack. Can't prepare for stuff like that. So Lanier would always say something to the effect of value what we have right now. Value the people that are with us right now. Express affection if that's what you feel. But just be aware of the here and now moment, which to me is the basis of existentialism. Lanier was minister from 1976 to 2001, and then he became minister emeritus. He began to he began to express himself artistically. This painting over here to the left being a prime example. He took art classes from Joe Ruhlman, I believe, and he would, from what I hear, stay up overnight sometimes, just painting all night. He was a fan of berets, wearing a beret in his many in honor today. So Teddy is wearing a parade. Jean is wearing a parade. There's Cindy Lee wearing a parade. There was a time we actually had, one Sunday we had it called Parade Day. And we would provide a bunch of parades back on the table and people could come in and put on a parade. So, summing it up, a couple of quotations that I pulled from some of this literature from Lanier. And it's just basic stuff. It says, the reason there's no book to tell you how to live your life is because no one is exactly like you. We are all unique, and to some extent, we are different, even though we have tremendous overlap. Lanier's thought was, it's not how we are thrown into the world. Like if we have bad parents, there's nothing we can do about that, other than at some point learn, grow enough to overcome bad parenting. It's how we respond to life that matters. First we exist, and then as we go along, we find ourselves. I was asked to choose a song, and the song that I chose was one that Lanier liked, I think, quite a bit. And I will echo what Marsha has already said. The harmony that comes from disharmony. I've heard Lanier so many times say, and Lanier was, did not have a great musical ear. But he would stand up here and he would say, you all, you just cannot believe how good you sound. I know you think you are not in harmony, and maybe you're not. But, you know, when you put disharmony together with disharmony, what do you have? You got harmony. And that's all I've got this morning. Thank you.
Rise in body and or spirit as you're willing and able. And I wanted to tag on to what Bill Reed said about Lanier not having a musical ear. Boy, he could hear the spirit in the music. Okay, so yeah. All right. Everybody have it?
Song, oh God of all the
We set aside time in our service and Shanti is going to do special music.
So Shanti and I are going to play a song I wrote a long time ago entitled Let the Song Be Your Companion. And I invite you all to get up and move, and dance, okay? Be your companion. Sing with it, dance with it, every day. Let a song travel with you. Bring you joy along your way.
Thank you, Jimmy Shanti. Now we're going to hear from Heinrich.
Well, so I was around before this started. I was one of Lanier Clance's graduate students and needed a job. And she said that Lanier needed some help renovating a house. And it was great working with Lanier. I actually didn't think that he would let me do the work because I had come out of Oklahoma, which is a very conservative place. And I loved to do things and be active and was often told, no, girls don't do that. And so I figured, well, we'll see what Lanier will let me do. Anyway, no problem. Lanier let me do whatever. So in thinking about, gosh, I mean, you know, I worked with Lanier for decades. So in thinking about, I interviewed, we used to have a TV show. The congregation had a TV show. It aired weekly, and it was called Quest. And I interviewed people. I was the congregation administrator at that time, which actually meant I got to do it. That was one great thing about Lanier. He'd let me do pretty much whatever I wanted to do. He was so supportive of creativity. And so, you know, people are talking about how I grab people to come join in. Well, I learned that from Lanier. Okay, so one of the things when I was interviewing Lanier on this TV show, I wanted to know why he started a church in Atlanta. that had a church on every street corner. I never could understand his answer. But in a later interview, and this was like decades later, someone else asked him that same question. And this is what he said. And I took notes on it because I thought, oh great, okay. He said that, you know, Lanier had been a minister for all his life, you know, I mean, a real conservative minister, and then it got more and more liberal, more, anyway. So he said that why he started this congregation was, quote, because religious communities were lacking for him in these elements. He found these elements missing. That they never seemed to talk about the anxiety and despair and how to change anxiety and despair. And they didn't talk about the loneliness in existence or even admitting that it existed. And he said that there was so much paradox in existence that when you acknowledge the pain, this is a quote, that when you acknowledge the pain in existence, it allows for the possibility of joy and excitement. And that was one reason he started this congregation. And then he said that he wanted to be around a group of people that were, and he wanted the services to be intellectually stimulating, aesthetically moving, and he wanted to be around a bunch of sensitive and caring people who weren't smiling all the time. Oh man. Wow. Gosh. So, you know, I mean, I'm real grateful to Pauline. She's the one, and Nancy. I mean, Pauline's the one that paid my salary the first year I worked for this congregation. When we didn't have enough money and my check bounced, right? And Pauline covered it. And Nancy. So it wasn't just Lanier, you know. Those things don't happen. But I mean, he was phenomenal. And Pauline and Nancy, oh my Lord, God. I mean, after the... I think another thing that Lanier talked about a lot in existentialism was that it is the experiencing of life that is he would call it a highest value, to be engaged more fully with life. And so I want to close with one of the favorite things he used to read that I also wrote down because I wanted to grab it. This is a quote by Harry Emerson Fosdick. And it is, nothing else matters much, not wealth, nor learning, nor even health, without this gift, the spiritual capacity to keep zest in living. This is the creed of creeds, to be able to believe in life. to sing and dance. So this is, I encourage you all to stand up and move around. This is the song, we let the love wash over us. You know, we gather it up. We let the love wash over us. We let it be, right? Right? We let the love gather it up. Wash it over, yeah, we let it be. Okay, great, great. So Shanti's going to play this with me, and we'll holler out the words, but the first one is love. And just let Shanti and I play it through for you.
Our closing words this morning come from Heinrich. We must become bigger than we have been, more courageous, greater in spirit, larger in outlook. We must become members of a new race, overcoming petty prejudices, owing our allegiance, ultimately, not to nations, but to our fellow human beings within the human community. Amen.
I'm sorry. Yes, we thought that today was the lunch, but Bob now made like Indian hard-boiled cooked eggs. So if anyone wants to try some, just